Hey friends, welcome to another reading lesson. Today we're going to be talking about character feelings. We're going to review some sounds. We're going to talk a little bit about retelling. So yesterday when we read this story, Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon, we talked about character action. Those are verbs, things that the characters do. Today we're going to talk about character feeling. Before we get started, let's talk about some short vowels. Now our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U, and sometimes Y, but let's focus on those first five. So A, the short A, says ah, like apple or alligator, ah, ah. Then there's E, short E says eh, like egg or elephant. Then there's I, short I says I. Notice it's different than the eh. There's that's E, and I, that's I, like igloo or iguana. And then there's O, short O says like octopus or operation. And then the last one is U, and short U says like umbrella or uh-oh. So we have I, and So if I said the word excellent, excellent, what vowel is at the beginning of that word? What short sound? Excellent. That's an E. If I said operation, operation, what short vowel is at the beginning of that word? That's a short O. Okay, so let's jump right into our text now that we reviewed our short vowels. And this is Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon. Now, I know in your ad minimum lessons, it's telling you to reread the story basically every lesson. We don't really do that in first grade. I mean, you can if you want to. You can reread that story or have someone read it to you. Every time it tells you to reread, that's fine. But remember, one of our 3 ways to read is to retell. So if I'm very comfortable with this story and I remember it well from yesterday, then I can just flip through the pages and just retell it to myself. So I remember Molly Lou Mellon was the shortest, but her grandma would tell her things like stand tall. She had buck teeth, but her grandma was like, no, smile big and the world will smile with you. And then she had a voice like a bullfrog, but her grandma said, sing anyway, and people will sing with you. She was clumsy. What they say? Fumble fingers. She was clumsy. But Grandma told her to have confidence in herself. Well, then she had to move, and she had to say goodbye, and she had to start a new school. And then there was that kid there, Ronald Durkin, who was trying really hard to be a bully, trying really hard to put her down. But she wasn't having any of it. She was like, I'll show him. So she was running really fast, and all the other kids were like, whoa. She stacked pennies, and Ronald Durkin, remember, he felt very foolish. And then he was trying to make fun of her voice, and then she quacked at him and laughed, and she made the biggest snowflake. Well, then he realized there was no point in trying to be mean to her, so he decided to be nice instead. And then she wrote Grandma and said that everything that Grandma said was exactly right. Now, so when you're doing your ELA lessons and it says to reread the story, you don't have to reread unless you need to, unless you feel like you've forgotten part of it. And even then, you can just go back to the part that you can't remember and just read that part. You don't have to spend the time reading the whole book, because I know certain books, like the one that we've been doing, Stella Luna, is a really long book. So don't feel like you have to reread it every single day. But anyway, yesterday we talked about character action. Those are things that the character does, the verbs, the action. Today we're going to talk about character feelings. Now, feelings, I bet you guys have a lot of feelings. So characters also have action. We do this for action. That means they're doing something, action, and feeling. That means they feel something inside of them. So let's practice a little bit. If I said, show me what your face would look like if you were feeling sad. What would your face look like if you were feeling sad? Probably more like this. Sad. What would you do if I said if you were feeling scared? What would your face look like if you were feeling scared? Oh no. Scared. And then let's do excited. if you were feeling excited, how would your face look? What expression would you use? Oh my God, I'm so excited, right? So characters also have feelings, and it's very important to understand your character's feelings and why they're feeling that way. So let's go to the very beginning. We notice that Molly Lou Mellon, when we talk about the feelings, it talks about all the things that are supposedly wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with her, but the world tells her there's things wrong with her. But she says she didn't mind. So do you think she necessarily feels bad about having buck teeth or having a voice that sounds like a bullfrog or being the shortest? Does she mind? I don't really think so. I don't think she feels sad about that. And Grandma's trying to make her feel proud. Grandma's trying to tell her, hey, you should be proud of who you are and the things that you are. And so I think that's how she feels. I think she's feeling proud. I think she's happy with herself. But right here, if you can kind of see her when she has to move, she has to leave everybody that she knows. She has to leave Grandma. Right here, how do you think she's feeling on this page? And it's not always going to say in the story. It doesn't necessarily say Molly Lou Mellon felt a certain way, but you can use the picture. How did she feel? Probably pretty sad, right? She felt sad. She had to leave her grandma. She had to start a new school, so maybe she was nervous. It's important to understand that characters are going to have feelings and why they feel that way. That helps you understand the characters better. It helps you understand the story better. Okay. Now on this page, it says how someone feels. It says Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. And he felt foolish because he was trying to bully her. He was trying to make fun of her and put her down for the way that she looked. And she showed him, didn't she? She said, I don't think so. Let me run circles around you and score a touchdown. And so that made him feel very foolish because he was like, well, I was trying to be mean to her, but she's not letting me be mean to her. Well, now I feel silly. I feel foolish. He does that on every page, right? So the kids are feeling like happy. They're feeling excited for Molly Lou Mellon because they're probably like, yeah, you show him. Don't let him put you down. And then he's over here feeling like, well, gosh, I can't bring her down. I feel so foolish. And right here, he looks kind of confused. He feels so confused. He's like, why is this girl not letting me be mean to her? Well, that's because Molly Lou Mellon is very confident. She feels very confident in herself. And when you feel confident about yourself, when somebody tries to put you down, you don't believe them. You say, okay, well, you might think that, but that's just not true. So he's very confused. But then I think on this page, he feels sorry. He feels sorry for trying to put her down. And she looks like she's like, okay, like I get it. Let's be friends. And then there's Grandma reading her letter. She's probably so proud of Molly Lou Mellon for following her advice. So remember, characters have action. Those are things that they do. Characters also have feelings, and we listen to how they're feeling. We respond to how they're feeling because that helps us understand what's going on in the story. It helps us understand the character better. And it honestly will help us in the retell. When we retell the story and put the story in order, if we know how the character was feeling, it probably says, okay, well, I know she was happy in the beginning, and there was a part where she got really sad, and that's when she moved, so it can help you put those events in order. So remember those short vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, U, Remember that characters have actions, characters have feelings, and remember in adminum when it says to reread the story, if you don't need to reread the story, then don't worry about it. You can turn to whatever page you feel like you need, or just go to the page that the lesson's telling you to go to if it's asking you a question about a specific page. Happy reading!